What if healing wasn't just about fixing symptoms? What if it was about fundamentally transforming what we believe about ourselves? Today, we're going to dig into a really fascinating new vision for healthcare called Novorêx. It's this incredible blend of psychology and technology that's built on that exact idea. So let's dive in and see how this all works.
Have you ever felt like modern medicine, as amazing as it is, can sometimes feel a little cold? Like you're just a collection of symptoms on a chart and not a whole person? Well, that feeling is exactly where the Novorêx philosophy begins. The whole goal is to shift gears, to move beyond just treating a disease and start healing people in the full, messy, beautiful context of their lives.
And that really leads to a huge question, doesn't it? In our race to perfect the biological side of things, are we missing something absolutely essential about what it means to truly heal? The argument from Novorêx is a big yes, and the answer, they say, is hiding in plain sight, in the powerful, undeniable link between our minds and our bodies. And this slide really lays out the whole shift in thinking perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way, traditional care that's often reactive, a bit impersonal, and super focused on symptoms. But on the right, you see the Novorêx vision. The words that jump out are transformational and human-centered. It's a move from just managing a disease to actually truly healing a person. Okay, so what's the engine driving all of this? What's the core philosophy that makes it possible? This is where it gets really, really cool. The entire Novorêx system is built on something they call the science of belief. And it's this idea that our beliefs are probably one of the most powerful and most overlooked forces that shape our health. The science of belief basically says to think of our beliefs as the source code for our mind's operating system. They're the instructions that literally compile into our emotions and our actions. Now, when that code is aligned and working well, we thrive. But when it's full of bugs, what they call key limiting beliefs, it can cause all sorts of distress both in our minds and in our bodies. Now, source code can feel a little abstract, right? So to make this idea more tangible, Novorêx uses this brilliant metaphor of an ego battery. Just picture it like the battery on your phone. It's a measure of your life force, your vitality. It gets charged up when your core emotional needs are met, things we all crave, like security, meaning, and a sense of community. But when those limiting beliefs get in the way and stop you from meeting those needs, that battery drains, and that can directly affect your ability to heal. Okay, so if our beliefs are the why, what's the how? I mean, how do you actually get in there and start working with them? Well, Novorêx doesn't just leave you hanging. It provides a super practical roadmap called the 5E Transformation Journey, which is a structured way to put this whole philosophy into action. And here it is, the 5E protocol. You can see it's a continuous cycle, a journey that's built entirely around that central idea of the science of belief. It's specifically designed to feel less like some sterile clinical procedure and way more like you're the hero in your own story of transformation. So let's just walk through this. The journey kicks off with Engage. This is all about real human connection and creating a space where you feel emotionally safe. From there, it moves to Entrust, where you build a deep, solid alliance. Then you hit Educate. This is the big aha moment, where the light bulb goes on and you start to see your own belief patterns clearly. Empower is the turning point, where you go from being a passive patient to the active driver of your own healing. And finally, you reach Enlighten, where you lock in all that growth and start building a new vision for your future. Now, a personal journey like that sounds incredible, but you might be thinking, how do you support that effectively for a lot of people? This is where the technology side of things comes into play, and it's pretty mind-blowing. Let's start with the first piece, a totally unique kind of AI guide. So meet the Novorêx Copilot. Now, I want to be clear, this is not your typical chatbot. It's described as an ethical AI guidance layer. The best way to think about it is like an AI with a conscience, always working in the background. Its main job is to strengthen the human connection, not replace it, by making sure every single interaction is aligned with who you are and what you value. So what's it actually doing while you're using the platform? Well, the Copilot is constantly and gently monitoring your emotional state. It's keeping an eye on that ego battery level we talked about. It double checks that any suggestions you get are actually in line with your core values. And if it senses you're struggling, it might just pop in with a gentle, supportive prompt to help you reframe things. The whole point is to make sure you feel heard and supported every single step of the way. All right, so the Copilot is your personal guide. It's all about you. But what about the system itself? How does the whole platform get better over time? Well, there's another layer of intelligence at work, an engine that ensures the platform doesn't just work, but that it actually learns. And its name is Cerebrex.
Cerebrix is basically the platform's superbrain. It's the central analytics hub that acts as the collective memory and learning center for the entire Novorêx world. So while your co-pilot is focused on you, Cerebrix is focused on the big picture, learning from everyone.
And this is the profound part. This is the real game changer. It means that every single interaction with every single person makes the entire system smarter and more effective for everybody. So how does it pull this off? Cerebrix is constantly aggregating anonymized data to spot patterns. It learns which strategies work best for which kinds of limiting beliefs. It refines the therapeutic approaches, and it feeds insights back to improve both the AI models and the human coaches. What you end up with is a healthcare system that's alive, one that's constantly learning, evolving, and adapting. So when you put it all together, this deep philosophy of belief, a structured journey of empowerment, and this incredibly smart ethical AI that learns and adapts, what do you actually get? Well, you get a system where healing stops being about just fixing what's broken. Instead, healing becomes a journey of transformation. It's a really powerful vision for the future of our health, one that puts our full humanity, our beliefs, our stories, all of it right back in the center of the picture.